Hey guys, welcome back to Minecraft The End. Today we will be reading chapter 13. It is titled It's Complicated. Starts on page 133 and goes to page 144. If you guys have enjoyed our book so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Minecraft novels. Without further ado, chapter 13, It's Complicated. Jax, Mo, and Lonesome had been gone for no more than a few hours. Finn couldn't remember ever going so long without seeing his twin, without knowing she was safe and nearby, without talking to her. It made him nervous. It made him feel unsteady, like he could just tumble off into the night at any moment. The others seemed to have lost a little interest in him once Jax had taken off with Mo. They had other priorities. The mystery could wait until their friend came back. In the meantime, they were very busy. The humans were building something. Rory, Cole, and Jester all had pairs of soft gray wings attached to their backs. They used them to glide from the ship to a smallish island off the port side where they were working. Finn knew what they were. Eltra. A couple of days ago he had dozens of pairs of his own. Now Rory and Cole had to carry him between them when they flew over their new base. They didn't need anything from the ship. There wasn't much left there anyway, except a small mountain of enchanted books. But Rory wanted them all to stick together over on the new beachhead. She didn't want to leave Finn alone back here. Finn watched them make quick work of that little island. It was dizzying. Their hands moved so fast and so cleverly. Finn looked down at his own hands. He didn't think he could ever do anything like that. That confident, that purposeful, that casual. They must have had some kind of blueprint for whatever they were building, but they never seemed to to reference it or argue amongst themselves over where to put the next corner piece or anything. Rory and Jester attacked the grove of chorus trees at the north end of the island. They hacked them up for the wood before Finn could begin to explain how to make chorus corn from the fruits. Cole got busy carving blocks of endstone, the very stuff of the land in the end, out of the little cliff on the west side. Finn didn't think that would be enough to make anything too impressive. You'd have to mine half the islands in the end to build something as big as Telos, and it looked like that was about the size of their plan. But when they pooled the chorus trees and stone at the building site on a flat meadow in the center of the isle, protected by gentle hills on the sides, it quickly became clear the humans weren't relying on just what they could scavenge here. Something was wrong with their pockets. They could pull anything out of them: stones, food, weapons, anything. It was like they were wearing this whole ship, and it had been there before Kraj and his goons. And shoveling items out they needed them. It was magic. By the great chaos, Finn whispered. No one heard him. They had way too much to do. Roy had half a wall up before Finn knew what he was looking at. She got up on a rise of rock to work on a door frame. Jess sat cross-legged on the inner side of the new wall, sawing chorus wood up into furniture. Cole dug down into the island earth for a good foundation and started hauling redstone blocks out of his trousers. It was so ridiculous to look at, yet so terrifying. Could all humans do this? Could Finn do it? None of them seemed to miss Jax at all. Well, of course he's our friend, Jess said when Finn asked about it. She didn't bother to look up from one stone wall she was building with breathtaking speed. Her pickaxe was a blur, but he's got his whole mission and he's very focused on it. I'm not about that life, neither is Rory. I'm a little bit about that life, Cole said. Rory made a gesture with her thumb and forefinger in a tiny space between them. A little. She grinned. What life? Finn asked. Jess bit the inside of her lip. It made her mouth go all crooked. You shouldn't worry about your sister or Jax. They'll be back any minute. That's what you told me when they left. Finn said impatiently. I know, I'm not worried. He was worried. No, I know. It's just that when I tell you about Jax, you're going to worry, but you shouldn't. He's not a bad guy. Finn scratched the back of his head. He couldn't get used to having hair. It wasn't right. It was unnatural. It worries me that you're saying that because nobody said he was bad, but you're already defending him. Jester sighed and put down her tools. Jack Jax likes killing things. That's horrible, Finn said. Jess shrugged. It is, though. What do you eat around here? I don't know, Finn said uncomfortably, even though he did know quite well. Coarse fruits. Right, so you kill things all the time, and that's okay as far as you see it, as long as it's vegetables. And what about endermites? I bet you stomp them as soon as you see them. That's not the same thing. Endermites are nasty little pests. They will bite the black out of you as soon as they look at you. They're nothing. They're so stupid they barely know they're alive. They're basically mean. Walking meat popsicles. It's not like we eat shulkers and chorus trees are just plants. Plants are alive. It's still killing. And I'd bet if you could get an Endermite to talk, they'd have some words about who is a mean walking meat popsicle. But you can't get an Endermite to talk. Believe me, I've tried. I've been lonelier than you can ever think. In your beautiful blue world up there, where everything you could ever want fits in your pocket, Finn thought, but didn't say. Jess laughed, sure. But you can't get a pig or a sheep or a creeper to talk either. Jack's just Finn. He wants to be safe. He'd never admit it, but that's all it is. Deep down, he wants to be safe. He wants us to be safe. And you don't know what it's like up there. What comes for you when the sun goes down. We're all on our own in the overworld, unless we band together like the four of us, and nothing up there will hesitate to kill us. If it's so normal to kill, then why are you acting like Jax is special? Jess picked at the corner of the table she was making. Look, it's fun to fight, okay? She said defensively. If you're good at it, and Jax is good at it, we all are. But he's really good. So after a while, nobody wants to mess with him anymore. Even the Endermen avoided him. It just wasn't worth it, I guess. So he started wandering out into whatever distant territory he could find. He just kept going and going until something stacked attacked him. He became fascinated with hunting rare creatures, unique monsters. He took home souvenirs and hung them in his hall. He's a collector. Everybody's got to have a passion, you know. But he's not a bad guy. He wants to be strong and he wants to be safe. Everyone wants that, don't they? Finn remembered why they were there. He didn't like it at all. How did you meet him? Oh, Jack's me have and me have been friends since forever, but we only met Cole and Rory last summer. Jack likes to hunt and fight. I I like to build. I'm the reason he's got all those houses. I taught him how to make something a little stronger and more interesting than a bed with a roof over it. Before me, he was just making big, dumb, plain wooden cubes with a bed inside. No style at all, no flair. I love making something out of nothing. Just a wide green field full of trees and boulders, and then, presto, just happens to just happens to it, and it's a pirate ship or a palace or a racetrack. I look at random stuff and I see civilization, order out of chaos, you know. Finn felt a little sick. I do know, he said, trying to hide his disgust. Chaos was beautiful and alive. Order was ugly and dead. Every Enderman knew that. It was like listening to the demon tell him how wonderful living in fire could be. No, it wasn't wonderful. It burned your skin off. But even though I like to build stuff, Jess went on, doesn't mean I don't like a good fight or a good hunt. I met Jax in a beach cave. He was cleaning up the cave spiders so you could spend a minute on the beach without having one jump on your head. Horrible things. Cave spiders. Poisonous. I was looking for materials to build a library, a place for all the books I find. You can make glass out of good enough sand, a glass library. I liked that idea. Anyway, Jack was about to be a spider lunch, and I gave him a hand. Almost got our heads handed to us. We were just starting out then. He wasn't that good at all. Well, anything. Neither was I. We're loads better now. We've traveled together a lot. It's safer in numbers. And last summer we were out hunting skeletons because wouldn't a whole castle made of bones of be fantastic? I guess, Finn said. It sounded gruesome. Just looked at him like he was crazy. He didn't need telepathy to read that look. It was fantastic, her eyes said. How could he not agree? Well, we followed a skeleton into the huge, amazing swamp. It just went on forever. Rory jogged over. She settled down next to the half built table. You talking about last summer? Yes, Jess said. Finn wants to know how we met. Rory pulled a cooked apple out of her apparently cavernous pocket. She munched on it. You guys saved us from the witch. It was awesome. Jess shuddered, getting into the spirit of her story. The swamp was huge and soggy and mucky and full of snakes and birds and the moon and quiet. But there's not much good building material in swamps. Not like orchards or mountains. Not for what I like to make anyway. We couldn't get we couldn't quite get a good shelter up before dark. And as the sun dipped down out of the sky, she appeared in her little swamp hut all lit up with swamp gas lights. Have you ever met a witch? Finn shook her head. There were so many different kinds of creatures up there. He couldn't imagine it. Everyone down here was the same. He never had to worry about seeing something he didn't understand, like a witch or a skeleton or a cave spider. They're like chemists and terrible outlooks on life, Rory piped up. That's why me and Cole were there. I'm sure Jess told you she's a builder. Jax is a hunter. Well, I like crafting, mixing things up and seeing if they explode or create something totally new and totally useful. It's the best thing in the world, like solving a mystery. But you don't even know what the mystery is while you're solving it. Kind of like you and your sister. So the point is, witches have potions, and potions are great, and I wanted them. Rory leaned in confidently. I think I might chuck it all and become a witch myself some day. I could if I wanted. I'm pretty cranky about most things most of the time. I dig swamps and wearing black and filling up potion bottles with horrible chemicals and horrible magic and horror just generally. If this end thing doesn't work out, it's my backup plan. By then, Cole had seen them talking and put down his axe to join the group. Cole came along beside because he had never been to a swamp before. Rory said. Cole nodded. I like exploring, he said. It gets me a little bit of everything collecting, hunting, crafting, building, or at least looking at buildings. And every once in a while you find gold or even diamond, or a little bit of diamond will keep me happy for a week. But it all turns out witches are very selfish and they just want to keep all their magic for themselves. One captured us. She put us in a cell made of hundreds of poison potions. If we tried to escape, we would have shriveled up, and she'd have made people soup out of us. Witches are the worst. Well, to be fair, you were going to rob her, Finn said. Yeah, but she was going to kill us. That's what I call overreacting. She could always make more potions. Finn thought about Kraj and his soldiers carting everything he and Mo had ever loved out of their ship and had felt how angry he'd been. If he had hundreds of bottles of poison, then he would have what would he have done? Jackson and I stormed the place. Jester picked up the story. The witch wasn't alone. She had a bunch of creeper friends and a zombie butler. Took us all night to get everyone. then disassembled the poison bottle jail and let them out. You killed all of them? Finn's face was doing all sorts of things he'd never done before, so he didn't know how to just look interested and attentive without showing everything he felt. He frowned. His eyebrows went up and then down again. He grimaced. He squinted. He scratched his head. Their story was ridiculous. All those things he'd never heard of, all those places, they were messing with him. They had to be, or at least exaggerating, making themselves sound a lot more dangerous and exciting than any 12-year-old really could be. Finn and Mo were still just waiting for their lives to start. These humans couldn't really have done all this, could they? Jess looked uncomfortable. The zombie butler was already dead. She said with a half-heartening shrug, technically. She'd have killed all of us if she could. They come out at night. They hunt us. Up there. It's everything in the world against humans. Just surviving is a win. You're so judgmental. Has anyone ever hunted you? I didn't think so. He hadn't ever been hunted. Of course he hadn't. But that didn't make it right, did it? A lot of the Endermen in the end were tremendously mean, but he didn't kill them. Mo didn't kill them. And yet, when the humans talked about the overworld, the swamp and the witch, the beach cave and the poisonous spiders, the castle made of out of bones, it all sounded so exciting, so different from the end, where every day was exactly the same and every night too. Imagine living in a place where you could never know what might happen next. Imagine living in a place where colors other than yellow, purple, and black existed. In a place where the biggest adventure you could find was something much, much more interesting than training in the Interdome. There's just monsters, Cole mumbled. It's no big deal. All of those visions of the overworld vanished from Finn's head. Just monsters? Just monsters? Like Endermen, you mean? He shot back, much louder. Jess rolled her eyes. Yes, actually, exactly like Endermen. Endermen are strange. They're alien. They're hideous. They're violent and angry, even when you're just minding your own business, not bothering anyone. But if you commit the high crime of looking at them as if looking ever hurt anyone, they'll get you. You have to get them first. That's all there is to it. Survival of the quickest. Once you've seen an Enderman, it's usually too late. They're the worst thing I know about. Do you have any idea how many humans Endermen kill up there? Because it's a lot. And it's not even like they're doing it to get our loot. When we go down and regain our spawn point, we leave everything behind. But they never take it. And let me tell you, respawning is no fun. It hurts like I don't even know what. You're so weak. You can it hurts like I don't even know what. You're so weak you can barely move. Everything just throbs unless you've got medicine on hand and a good friend or a totem to stop your respawn from happening in the first place. You won't feel like yourself again for a long time. Finn felt his cheeks burn. Then what are you doing here? It's nothing but Endermen down here. Why couldn't you just leave us alone? You're the monsters, not us. You just show up in our territory and expect to do whatever you want, however you want, with which whatever you want, and don't care if it belongs to you or not. Humans are all the same. Cole got red in the face. He was embarrassed. He was angry. He was insulted. If humans are all the same, you're bad too. You're human, you idiot. And if you had a ship full of loot, I'd bet a bucket of gold you got it by marching in somewhere, seeing what you wanted and taking it a- without asking, just like all the other nasty, no good humans. If your Ender friends knew what you were, they'd treat you the same as they treat us and wouldn't think they were so great then. Get a grip, Finn. Deal with your situation and face the facts. If humans are monsters, you're a monster too. Finn fought desperately not to cry. According to you, Endermen are the monsters. So I'm one either way, he screamed. Just get out. Go away. If you hadn't come, I'd still be in my ship with all my stuff, my twin, my best friend, and I wouldn't have any problems. I'd still be happy. What are you doing here? Why can't you just go back to where you came from? It's complicated, Rory yelled back. Just calm down. We're just regular people, Finn, just like you. Not like me. I never invaded anybody, and Kraj is right. That's what you're doing. Even if you're only an army of four, why do you think you have the right to just show up on someone else's land and start doing and taking whatever you want from whoever you want? That's just how it works in the overworld, Cole said. Everybody does it. Then the overworld sucks, and so does everybody. Finn crossed his arms over his chest and let out his breath. Did you ask before taking every piece of your collection from the place you found it? Even the rocks and the ore and the wood? Cole fired back. Finn had nothing to say to that. He hated that he didn't. It's complicated, he mumbled. Rory tried to explain. You want to know why we came? It's not just one thing. We aren't Endermen. Every human is completely different from every other human. Yeah, Jax wants to kill the Ender Dragon. Big whoop. Lots of people do. It's like how lots of people see a mountain and some of them want to paint it, and some of them want to live on it, and some of them want to mine it. But most people just gotta climb it. So Jax wants to climb it, but we plan to come to the end for lots of reasons. I wanted to find new materials. I guess that makes me the miner. There's stone and food and treasure down here you can't find anywhere else. Cole wanted to see a place that's pretty much nothing but a legend in the overworld. He's your painter, although he was more or less on board with Jack's plan, and so was I. Cole looked embarrassed. I like to travel, but once you've got where you're going, it's nice to have something to do. I need activities, or I might as well stay home. Rory nodded. Fine. Finn got the feeling none of them was entirely off board with Jack's plan when it came right down to it, and Jester rubbed her hands on her knees. She could speak very well for herself. Jess wants to live on the mountain, to rule it, with an iron fist, from the castle, queen of the end. Finn clenched his fist. Grumpo will not be ruled. Grumpo is unrulable, and so is Finn. Jester boggled. No, just live here. Who wants to rule? What a lot of work. Just got tired of running from all those sweet, nice monsters who definitely didn't want to kill her or knock down everything she ever built. Jess thought if she stocked up enough pumpkins, she could build her own little city and live down here and not have to worry about witches or spiders or skeletons or zombie butlers or creepers or anything. She could just build her library of glass and be happy. Jess kinda wants to be you when she grows up. Finn looked at Jess with astonishment. She wants to be like him, but Jess was strong and confident. She had everything. She was pretty. Soft brown skin and brown hair and in a long ponytail and brown eyes. A friendly set to her chin. Not scary, not flashing with rage, not a monster, just a girl who wanted to build a library. He knew another girl like that, his sister, and when his sister came back, if they were going to figure out what had happened to him, it would be this girl and her friends who would help them, not the Endermen, not now, not once they saw the twins as they really were, not Kraj or Lop or Naka or Ursha, the mouth of the great chaos. Maybe, but he couldn't count on that, and neither could Mo. If he was going to get help, Finn knew he needed to stop calling them monsters. Whether it was true or not, Finn dried his eyes and took a deep breath. Building libraries isn't so bad, he sniffled. He smiled shyly. I even know where you can find some books. Really? Jess said. Her eyes got big and round. I could have them. Finn nodded. If Mo says it's okay. She will, but it's nice to ask. It would only take a couple of trips to ferry them all over here, Rory said. What's in all those books anyway? Finn shrugged. I don't know. They're enchanted. I've never been able to get one open. That wraps up chapter 13. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for chapter 14. It is titled In the Army Now. If you guys enjoyed that, make sure you hit that like button and stay tuned for more.